best time of the year here. Maybe not the best time of the year for your waistline, but you have the opportunity to eat as many cookies as you want during this. I would say 7-day period from the 23rd, maybe even more, maybe 7 to 9 day period from the 23rd to the 1st, and the cookies don't count, from a calorie standpoint. So it's only right that, I think we ranked Thanksgiving food recently, and now we're back. We're going to give our top 3 Christmas cookies for the year. I say we start at 3 and then go down to 1. So we'll trade off here, Adam. So I'll give my first one. My first ranking number 3 in my Christmas cookie, and it has to be a cookie. It can't be like a bar or brownie or something like that. My number 3 is
a brownie. Who's giving brownies out?
Dude, we make some mint brownies here that are like unbelievable. That might be, if it was a holiday treat, that would rank.
Maybe throw some red and green sprinkles on it, and
it's exactly mint in the winter sounds great. Anyways, ranking number 3 for me is the classic Christmas cutout cookie, just the sugar cookie base with a little bit of frosting. You put a little sprinkles on it. You make a bunch. The family comes around. You kind of decorate them. Sometimes if you have, I've got a couple brothers, and oftentimes the shapes of the cookies become slightly phallic from time to time. But definitely a little bit of a good time to. It's the vibes of decorating Christmas cookies is great, and they taste great too. Go really good with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
Cup of tea. Number 3. I think this is a classic cookie. I think all the I don't know, cookie books, all the books that all the grandmas used to use in the 50s or whatever. I don't know, they probably got them in the mail or saw them at the grocery store or something. And there's always, there's cookie recipes and all those. And then they cut out those cookie recipes and they save those. At least, in my family, they cut out the recipes. They have their own book. Then they take some tape out, tape the recipes in a book kind of thing. And you got all your recipes there. And I think Tinglings is one of these classic cookies, which was created at some point in the 50s or 60s. It's like a butterscotch. It uses chow mein noodles, butterscotch cookies. It's like a no bake. Chris has never heard of this.
I don't even know what this is. I'm going to have to try this.
It does sound weird because it uses chow mein noodles, but there's also peanuts in it. But just if you're a butterscotch fan, I think these are must try Christmas cookies. Shouts to my aunt, the master baker, and shouts to my grandma who and I guess shouts to my grandpa who it used to be his favorite cookie as well. So just a tingling is my number 3.
Interesting. That is a classic Midwest aunt or grandma move to have like the cutout recipe and like this like hodgepodge kind of recipe book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess is that a Midwest thing? I don't know.
Maybe it's more than I don't know. But anyways, moving on to number 2 here, and this might cause a little controversy. But we make and I think it's considered a cookie, but I don't know for sure, and maybe you can tell me. Poor man turtles. This is my note. They're like a butterscotch pretzel, and then you put a Rolo on it, and then you put an almond or some sort of nut on top. They're like super easy to make. You can make like 1,000 of them, I swear, in like the matter of minutes. Very little buy-in. You don't have to like mix anything. You basically put the Rolo on the pretzel and then but I feel like those things, they're probably like, I don't know, 150 calories like per like 2.
I mean, we're talking about cookies here.
Yeah, we're talking about cookies. So, but like I could like pop like 15 of those suckers in 10 minutes, and they taste so good and they're super easy to make. So that's my number 2. A, because they're efficient, and B, because they taste amazing.
I'm not huge on nuts in my cookies, but I'll take a pecan bar here and there, and I'll take a turtle here and there as well. I'm a turtle fan. I won't deny caramel. And
caramel's amazing.
Goodness. I'm not going to deny sweets, so as long as there's, Rolos attached to the pecan, like I'm not going to be complaining about it. So
fair.
Number 2, I talked about this last year. This is just like an all-time favorite probably, but we call them peanut butter balls over here, but they are the Buckeyes. Chocolate, peanut butter. You can't really do wrong with that. So I know you've had those before. These are probably one of the more popular ones. People, we just don't call them Buckeyes in Michigan is kind of a rule.
Yeah. Yeah, we call them. Yeah, I think Buckeyes here for sure. There's a couple sitting in the Tupperware in the kitchen right now. I haven't had one yet. They're not usually my go-to, but I'm familiar with. It's like essentially like peanut butter covered in chocolate, a classic mixture. I'm on the theme of peanut butter and chocolate. I'm gonna just get right into my number 1, and that's peanut butter blossoms. It's a classic. It's like a peanut butter cookie that you make, and then you just put a Hershey Kiss in the middle. You've probably seen them around, but those also, you roll them, you get the dough together, you roll them up, get them a little sugar. You can put some red and green sprinkles in them, pop them in the oven for, 8 to 10 minutes, take them out, put the little Hershey Kiss in there, take them back out. And those things are probably my number 1. Peanut butter chocolate. It's tough to overlook how good of a combination that is.
Yeah, I think this. As I said, the peanut butter ball was my top last year. I'm pretty sure we talked about this one last year, so it's good to see that your favorite cookie isn't changing.
Sticking to party lines.
Yeah, yeah. I think that one is probably I mentioned the Tinglings thing. That the peanut butter blossom is probably one of those cookies that's been around since the 50s as well. It just seems like in classic cookies, you put a thing together, you put the Hershey Kiss in the middle, and like it feels like that's something that's been around for 80 years or something like that. I don't know
since Bethlehem,
maybe the 1600s. Maybe I'm lowballing this one a little bit.
I don't know.
Here we go. I'm just getting this graphic up here. So my number 1. We're both 3-0 on these, by the way. So this is kind of a newcomer here.
Plus 200 odds too. So.
This is a bit of a newcomer because my aunt started making this. So my family, we get together for the holidays. My aunt, and everyone brings Christmas cookies. We have like 20 different varieties that we have over the course of a week. And, you pick your favorites out, you rate them a little bit. Maybe you'll have a ranking at the end of the week kind of a thing. So this one, this isn't the chocolate peanut butter that, automatically sounds good. So this is a ginger molasses cookie and it's frosted. So it's basically, it doesn't sound as good as what I'll say than some of these other ones, but as long as you're not like opposed to ginger, it's not ginger heavy, but you combine ginger, you combine molasses into chewy goodness, and then you dip it into white chocolate. That has become one of my favorites here over probably the last 5 years. If you haven't tried this, I think you got to try it. I mean, there's no chocolate here, molasses, chocolate, kind of close enough a little bit there. So frosted ginger molasses there. Have you had one of these before?
I appreciate your the breadth and width of your cookies here. Like you dug a little deeper. I feel like I need to expand what I've been eating of a cookie. Like these are the same.
Well, I was saying, we get 20 plus cookies to choose from. Probably more from the in-laws. My mother-in-law also makes a bunch of cookies as well. So I got a bunch of choices here to where, maybe your family's not as cookie heavy as my family. I probably try about 30 kinds of cookies every Christmas.
I love that. I got to get that going on in my family. We go with the classics that we've had for like 25 years.
You got to just slowly incorporate a new one here and there.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
Absolutely.
That's what you got to do. You said you're going to be in the kitchen. Just check out these ginger molasses ones and try it and get these going.
A much better cook than I am baker. So, but maybe I'll put those in my locker here and start to develop that.
No better time to start than now.